What's going on, guys? My name is Jordan and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of my 20-gallon planted aquarium that I have here at my student house while I'm away at university. Up until now I've only really shown off this aquarium on my Instagram account, although I figured I would break out the camera and give you guys a closer look at the plant selection as well as the fish and the equipment that I have keeping the aquarium running. So let's get into it. Alright, so we'll start off talking about the equipment that I'm using to run this aquarium. As I mentioned earlier, it's a 20-gallon aquarium, so I'm running a Eheim Classic 250, which may seem to be an extreme overkill, although I had it laying around, so I figured I might as well put it to use rather than buying a new filter that's a little bit more suitable for 20-gallon. And it's got valves on it, which helps me reduce the flow rate if I need to, so I have no issue using the Eheim Classic on this aquarium. And I think it does a pretty good job keeping the water quality clear. I use a lot of filter floss in the filter to try and polish the water as much as possible. As for the lighting, you can see I've got 3 dome lights sitting on top of the aquarium, which kind of seems ridiculous, but again, I had them laying around from when I used to have reptiles, so I figured I'd put them to good use. Inside the light, I have 10-watt LED bulbs that I just bought at a hardware store. They are in the Kelvin range of 5,000 and they put out 800 lumens each, which I think does a pretty good job lighting the aquarium. There's a few dark spots from where the driftwood overhangs, but I think overall it has a nice look to it. So as you can see, I am injecting pressurized CO2 into this aquarium, and while many of the plants in this aquarium actually don't require CO2, I had the stuff laying around, so I decided to set up the system and just see how the plants reacted. So I'm using this CO2 diffuser here that I got at a local fish store. In my opinion, it's a little bulky for this aquarium, and I'll probably switch it out with a smaller diffuser that's a little less noticeable, but for the meantime it is doing a good job. It is pretty dirty though. I do need to take it out and clean it, and so that's why some of the bubbles coming out of it are pretty large. But for the most part, it is doing a pretty good job. As for the regulator, I am using just a single stage Milwaukee regulator. I know it has mixed reviews online. However, I've had good experience with the regulator. The only thing that I can say about it is that dialing in the bubble rate was a little tricky. But for this aquarium, I'm not running a high bubble rate at all. It's pretty low actually, so it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, overall, just the plants are doing really well and really seem to be enjoying the amount of CO2 that I'm giving them. And so that's pretty much all the equipment that I'm using running. I actually don't have a heater for this aquarium, and it seems to be sitting at the low 70s, and everything, all the livestock's been doing pretty great. I could probably add a heater and get faster plant growth, but I'm happy with the way things are now, so I probably won't mess around with it too much. Alright, so now that we're done talking about the equipment, now let's get into the stocking. So first up, I have a group of Amano shrimp, mainly to keep the algae in this aquarium down to a minimum, and they're doing a really great job at it. Now that the aquarium's a little bit more balanced, there probably isn't that much algae, so of course I supplement their diet with algae wafers, and they really love to eat bloodworms as well. And so next up we have the celestial pearl danios. These are by far my favorite fish in this aquarium. They have amazing personality, and I just love the way they interact with one another and swimming in and out of the leaves and the roots for the Nubius plants. It's really entertaining. The next fish in this aquarium might have actually been mistaken for a cardinal tetra or even a neon tetra, but they're actually not. They're the blue axelrodi rasboras. These guys, I haven't seen them too much in the fish stores, but when my fish store actually got them in, I decided to pick up a bunch. And they didn't really have very much color when I first got them, but now that they're older and I've grown them out, they have an amazing blue coloration that's a completely different shade to the traditional cardinal tetras, and I really love the contrast from that blue with the green of the plants, and I think it works really well. So the next fish you can see here is the white cloud mountain minnows. Now these are actually supposed to be the longfin variety, although I'm not 100% convinced that all of them are the longfin variety. regardless, they're really interesting and really fun to watch, especially when they spar with one another, flashing their beautiful red fins. Alright, and so the last fish species in this aquarium is a little bit difficult to film. It's a corridor species, and the skunk cories to be exact, and they really love to hide in my driftwood and in the shady spots of the aquarium. Alright, so before we start talking about the plants that I have in my aquarium, I want to say one thing, and that is that this is actually a dirted aquarium. And it's true that in this aquarium I do have a lot of Anubias and Java ferns that don't actually require strong substrate full of nutrients, but I do have quite a few heavy root feeders such as cryptocoryne species, as well as I do have a Madagascar lace plant in the back. So I do like having the dirted substrate, and I think they really benefit from it. So as you guys can probably tell, the main plant and the main focus of this aquarium is Anubias. And the truth is, I've actually had these plants for so long that I've kind of forgotten what variation of Anubias they are. They just got mixed up throughout the years of being in different planted tanks and stuff like that. So I don't know, I'm pretty sure they're the Anubias Nana and Nana Petite varieties. As you can see, there's quite a few little guys scattered amongst, and then there's a couple bigger ones growing, and they're doing really well. And actually, one of the things I really like about this aquarium is the roots that the Anubias put down. I find it gives it a good jungle feel, and it's really neat. Alright, so here's a closer look at the foreground in my aquarium. As you can see, I do have dwarf baby tears. Now this plant has been a little bit difficult to grow. I did have some weaker lighting, and so the plant wasn't growing, but it also wasn't dying. It was just kind of staying the same. But as soon as I switched to these new LEDs, the plant started pearling and started spreading, so I'm really excited for it to cover more of the front. I also have some hydrocaudal japonica in the back there, as well as this stem plant, which the name is slipping my mind. I've had it for so long that I've just kind of forgot its name, but maybe somebody in the comments can let me know. And if I pan over here a little bit more, you can see some more dwarf baby tears, as well as a crypt species. This is actually cryptocoryne pechi, and I really love the way the leaves look, so it's a great foreground plant. It's not too big, and I really love the placement of it. If I pan over a little bit more, some more crypt pechi in the back there, but this is actually Monte Carlo. I picked this up not knowing exactly how the dwarf baby tears was going to do, and so I wanted something that is a little bit easier. So this is kind of new into the aquarium, so it looks a little raggedy, but it is starting to spread, and I'm excited for that to grow in a little bit more. Alright, and up top here by the water surface, I have some Christmas moss that I glued and tied down to my driftwood. I really love the look of it right below the water surface, and similar to the Madagascar lace plant, I just trimmed it the other day when I did a water change, so that's why that specific patch looks pretty tame. Although if I pan over here, this is also Christmas moss that I have on this piece of driftwood, and I really love the jungle look and feel that it gives to the aquarium. Alright, and there you guys have it, my 20-gallon planted dirted aquarium. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and subscribe if you want to see some more videos like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.